Hi, my name is Antonis and I'm the painter in this video. Today you will see me painting Saint John the Baptist, a study on painting by Leonardo da Vinci. And here I want to show you some parts of the process where you will see how I'm handling the color and the brush in order to achieve the sfumato effect. Sfumato is the technique where uh, we go from light to shadow in a very smooth, foggy-like way. It's a very typical of the High Renaissance period in painting. Leonardo da Vinci perfected this technique, and I will try my best to explain here what I'm doing and how you can achieve yourselves this transition between light and shadow in this very stunning way of doing this. So here, as you see, I have already painted some stages of the face. I've started by, of course, transferring my drawing on my board. I'm using oil colors for in order to do this, in order to paint so far. And I have, after transferring my drawing, I gradually paint the shadows and some layers of light. Now, this video is just a segment of the process, but I've decided to share you just this segment for you to see the handling of the brush and the manipulation, let's say, of the color in order to achieve the sfumato effect. It's not to show you how I start the painting and how it will finish, but just for you to understand how I'm using the brush in which way in order to achieve this effect. So as you see, I am placing some bits of color on specific areas of the face according to how I want to change the shapes of light and shadow. So here I am adding some uh, um, shadowy, let's say, color, a darker in value color on areas that I want to blend more smoothly. I just place the color with my brush without any manipulation of the color at the beginning. And then, after I've placed these bits of color, I'm starting moving the color around and pushing the color with the brush in order to achieve a very uh, thin layer of color, as you see, and to blend almost in a molecular scale to blend the elements of color on the layers that are underneath. Of course, this requires that the layers I have already painted so far are dry. Um, I can't do this. I can't spread the color as you see here if the layers underneath are still wet. So the sfumato process takes some days or weeks to be accomplished since on after almost each layer we will have to wait. So as you see, I am pushing the color with a brush that is almost dry, and the color, of course, that I've previously placed is wet. But on my brush now there is no color. I wipe the excess of the color away from my brush because as I'm handling the brush now, it absorbs some of the color that I have previously painted, and I have to wipe this color away. And as you see directly, this technique already gives this very characteristic Renaissance look on my painting. It is important to understand that in order to achieve this very unique and um, grandiose looking way of painting. We are not required to have very expensive brushes or expensive colors. This is what I thought I would be required in order to achieve this. But we just need to understand the behavior of the color and the oil materials here, and to somehow feel and really know what we need to paint. So again, I'm adding more painting as you see here, and you will feel when you will have to wait for some days to dry the underneath layers. You will definitely understand this. Here I am adding some more fleshier, more light in value color, a little bit more pinkish as well. And this is the reason here you'll see you will understand better what I'm doing. So I'm placing these bits of color on the areas where I want to lighten up a little bit, and you see how I just place them without moving them around while my brush is loaded with color. After I place them, I will start moving the color around with a dry brush. On my other hand, I have a piece of cloth that is much absorbent, like cotton or something. And here you will see how this foggy effect is directly emerging by just moving. Of course, it requires a lot of patience, and as I'm doing this, I am mostly preoccupied on what's happening on the outer part of my light shapes, on the areas where it blends with the shadow, and I don't really care what's happening in the middle section, in the middle area of these shapes, because I can always revisit with more layers of light in the middle area. So here I'm moving the molecules of color around, and I only care about what's happening on the borders, let's say, between light and shadow. And even if it's still, in a little bit crude, uh, we already have this beautiful feeling of the smoke-like effect. Now, let me just say that in the history of painting, we have several ways to achieve transition between light and shadow, and we have many paintings where this transition is very, very smooth, but it's not sfumato. Sfumato is this very, very characteristic. You understand what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Uh, in the paintings of Leonardo, who perfected this technique, we hardly see any evidence of him using a brush stroke, because the way he handles the brush is very unique. The brush doesn't leave any traces of its hairs on the painting. The brush is used as a tool to tap the painting, or to move, as I say, the molecules of painting around. It's very characteristic, and yeah, here you see that I'm placing a second layer of color on the underneath still wet painting. I could wait a couple of days to do this, or if I see that this color can stand on top of the previous layer, I can do this in order to save me some time. Again, when you are doing this, it can take as many layers as you want. Of course, as I say, you'll have to feel that the painting is under your control, and the brush obeys what you do, and the layers underneath are stable to get more layers on top of them. But it's very, very important for you to listen to, let's say, to observe closely the painting, to have a painting approach, and always look and see for yourselves what's going on, and if you need to wait a little bit more, or if you need to change the shapes, add more light or add more shadow, and then tap it. Hopefully all this makes sense, and I'm sure that the video itself is more, it's self-explanatory than me. So anyway, I hope this video was of some help to you in terms of more what you see than what you listen, and I hope you'll find this technique that will be of some artistic merit for your own work. Thank you so much for being for watching this, for your beautiful always comments, and I want to wish all of you to be creative and healthy. I will see you soon with another video. Bye.